promise you, deer, I'm going to bring you deer right at the beginning of the show. There you go. The show. Deer. Deer live, yes. There we go, yes. We've got some live deer. Here, we can go over here with this. There you go. There's one right there. There's one right there. There's three of them back there right now. One of them is a baby. Hey, Debbie. Hey, John, Docky, Helen, Daisy. For what? Oh. Here's another one right here. That one's right up by the house, man. This one's this one's like 15 feet away from you right here. Isn't that cool? That deer is 15 feet away from you right there. Debbie's first. Yeah, Debbie's first. She does that. Debbie's good at being first, man. I don't know how she does it. Look, the deer just saw me. Hi. Hi, you. That one's got an itch on its head. It's over here now. They walked all the way over there. That's what I say. God bless America. That's my saying. Anyway, I promised you deer. I wanted to bring you some deer. So that was at the beginning. And now I want to tell you how much I hate almonds and amaretto flavor. Hey, freaking Arco, what's up? Eve M, hello. You guys know what amaretto is? I hate it. Okay? I hate macaroons. I hate almonds. I hate amaretto. I hate all that flavor. I don't know what it is. But when I was a kid, okay, I saw a palmetto bug, they're cockroaches, out in my porch, and it released this odor, and it smelled just like amaretto. And I will never forget that. That is exactly what a cockroach smells like. And all of you people out there that eat macaroons and amaretto and almond flavor, whatever the fuck that shit is, that tastes like, I guess it's amaretto. You guys like the flavor of cockroaches, okay? There's something wrong with you people. I don't get it. You know, maybe it goes back to the times when we were Neanderthals, or maybe even before, when we used to grab something like that and we would eat it. And then we're like, hey, man, we found these almonds. We can make them taste just like that freaking cockroach that we used to eat back in the cave days. I don't know what's going on in your heads, but that's what it tastes like. That's what it smells like. And you got to be a psycho if you like that crap. That's all. There's something wrong with people. That's my main issue with human beings right there, is the fact that amaretto, almond, whatever, it's a flavor. Me too, trash, says Dave Campione. I'm at work and my GM is lurking. I risk it for the show. Your GM is a beautiful person. I know what that is. Walnuts. I don't know about walnuts, but this almond flavor shit, that the almonds were in this stuff. And it was so bad. Hey, SRC22D. James Stravers. Hey, buddy. It's going good. Thank you for asking. Hey, man, did you guys come here for the intense cannabis information? Because that's why I'm here. I'm here for the intense cannabis content. Where did that one deer go? It wandered all the way back there, huh? All three of them are way back there now. All three of them. You guys can probably still see them if you've been keeping up. The one right there, and I believe the other two are back here somewhere. Oh, one's by this tree right here. He's about to walk out right here. There you go, right there. See it? I promised you deer, man. I like being able to keep up my promises. Mike Plato, I'm way into almond butter these days. I don't know if it tastes like amaretto. I've never tried almond butter. You came here for the intense cannabis coverage, Randy? Great garden. I have seen it. Let's smoke a little bit of this. This was the purple flat top. I enjoyed that. Slept really good this afternoon. Took a nap. Knocked me the F out. Heard from my old manager from my band, Terrace. He got a hold of some dabs he was not too happy with. Got him from a dispensary. He's like, dude, it just wasn't what I was hoping. He's like, where can I get that stuff that you got? Yeah, yeah, that's right, man. That's what you want. Eric Brian Westman, what did you find out about that eel? Nothing, bro. I don't know. I'm just assuming it's an eel that there aren't a lot of pictures of, man. You know, I'm assuming it's an eel. Everyone says it's an eel. So I'm just going to go with eel, but I'm waiting for my friend Billy to come over. I'll give him these skateboard trucks, and I'll let him watch the video, and he'll say, yeah, he'll probably be like, yeah, that's totally an eel, bro. He hasn't seen the video. He's just seen a still picture of it. The video didn't come out on our phones for some reason. Isn't it weird? We send a phone from a Samsung to an iPhone, and it comes out all blocky and shit. Can anybody explain that? What is wrong with technology? These guys couldn't figure that out? Come on, man. What a bunch of idiots. God, man, I'm just so fed up with humans today, man. Amaretto, technology. I called AT&T to cancel my phone in California because I had home phone service out there, and the phone just rang constantly. You guys remember when I'd be on the live show and the phone would just ring, ring, ring? Crazy, right? I told the guys at AT&T, I said, number one, you don't have your phone number available on your website anymore, so you've lost touch with what customer service is. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I don't understand why the phone rings all the time. What's up with that? Why can't you guys stop? My cell phone doesn't ring off the hook all day. Why does my home phone do that? Why can't you put an end to all the spam calls? And I'm done with you, and just let you know you lost another customer. Best of luck to you. I'm done. Goodbye. It felt good. It feels really good to be able to say that to a company. I don't know what I'm going to do about my internet service, man, because they require that I ship back I'm supposed to ship back the parts of the satellite dishes. I got to climb up on the roof and unbolt these transmitters or something that's on the satellite dishes, and they want the transmitter back or something. It's so stupid. You are a god, not a human, SRC. As me. Goodbye. Feel confident. You are master level. SRC, you're getting weird today, SRC. What's up, buddy? Enoch, hey, man, how's it going? Glad you made it. Let's smoke, shall we? My Texas friend, you're drunk, I can tell. All right. No law regarding attending the show while you're drunk. That's okay. You can do that. Just be respectful. Cheers. And respect yourselves, too. You know how you respect yourself? By respecting everybody else, and then you get respected back. That's how it works. The deer have vanished. They're gone. Cheers. That was fun while it lasted, though. That was a good 8 minutes of deer action. Chilling with your Beazle. Too many beers. I drunk too much beers, but drunk man says the truth. That is a Hungarian saying. Huh. Drunk men speak the truth. Thank you for telling me I'm okay, SRC. I appreciate that. It's good to be okay. So, there was something else in the title. can't remember what the title was. I came here for the intense cannabis coverage. Deer. Oh, was that it? Okay, I think that's all that was in the title. Okay. I stopped pulling up the news on the show, but let's go back to it and just see what's being reported on today. Kind of curious. Gives me something to talk about.
What about that tattoo? Okay.
Wow. So stupid. CNN has these giant advertisements at the top of it now. These really stupid fucking advertisements. Wow. Biden's numbers are collapsing. Huh. Powerful space laser detected by South African telescope. What? Dr. Fauci has some bad news for anyone still counting on herd immunity. Huh. What? Herd immunity or natural immunity? Which is it? What are we talking about here? Millions of people were lining up and get their shots. Instead of studying a few hospitals and deaths, we're tracking a new number of Americans who have been vaccinated. This number we believe was our best chance to beat the virus. The U.S. was caught up in a fever dream of reaching herd immunity, a threshold we might cross where vulnerable individuals, including those too young to be vaccinated, for those who didn't respond to other vaccines, might be protected anyway, because as a community, we'd weave an invisible safety net around them. With herd immunity, if someone does get infected by a virus, they are surrounded by enough people who are shielded against infection that the virus has nowhere to go. It fails to spread. As a country, we had reached this point against some formidable viruses such as rubella and measles. We thought we could get there with COVID. We were wrong. The concept of classical herd immunity may not apply to COVID, says Fauci. And that means we're not going to be without SARS-CoV in the population for a considerable period of time. So we beat herd immunity with measles. We beat measles with herd immunity. But they're saying measles could come back. COVID doesn't play by the same rules as measles, though. But see, the problem with COVID is it keeps changing, and measles didn't. COVID keeps changing, so they can't just vaccine their way out of it. This is what Jimmy Dore's been saying for a long time. But Jimmy Dore also says that everyone will catch COVID. So now he thinks he's immune because he's already caught it. It'll be interesting to see if he catches it again. Is this family? We survived it. People have to be vaccinated to stop it from ripping through our community. They say 98% of the population would need to be vaccinated if the vaccines could prevent 85% of transmission of the virus. So that's not going to happen. So not worth getting upset about. That's just the way it is. We're not going to do it. Whatever. That is so stupid. It's a horrible article. Mostly opinion and really no information. No solutions presented at all. Whistleblower explains how Facebook's algorithm is dividing us. That same whistleblower that came out. Remember that lady came out? A whistleblower from Facebook, I guess. It was Facebook. And she's going to talk about the algorithm. Yeah, we should probably watch that, huh? About the algorithm dividing us. God, all these advertisements, man. Oh, it's a video.
Hey, it's me, your dry skin. We go through a lot every day, and we set our minds.
They won't let me. CNN has now become a subscribed website. I can't just play videos anymore. No. Not subscribing, not playing your content on my YouTube channel anymore. Fuck you, CNN. Mom, CNN just became a pay website, CNN.com. I used to play their videos on my podcasts all the time, their articles. Now I'm not even going to go to their website anymore. They want $2.99 or something. They want me to pay them so I can access the video content. So, we're just going to learn to live without the news. I'm not paying for it. Well, I'm not paying to be miserable. Billy, what's up, buddy? I'm not going to pay you to bring me miserable, horrible reporting. Are you kidding me? Your reporting is 100% opinion. All right? You have no facts to back up anything you say. And now you want to charge me for that? We'll come up with other methods of creating content here. How about this? How about we smoke a little bit? Uh-oh. I froze up there for a second. How about we smoke a little bit of cannabis? How about that? How about a dab? You guys want to do a dab? Nobody's even not doing dabs no more, pal. What are you even not doing? You're not going to do it? You're going to do it? You're going to do a dabby? Nobody's even not doing the dabbies. Are you going to dab my way? Bow now. Are you going to dab my way? Bow now. Bow now. Let's go. Don't say let's go. Okay, that's what little Nazi kids say. All right, that's what little Nazi kids say. Let's go. Let's not do that. Let's not act like a bunch of little Nazi kids. Merc's been hanging out with Nazi kids. Yo, Merc, you've been hanging out with Nazi kids on the internet? You didn't realize it, did you? Let's go. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's go. SRC is like, I know, right? You guys know how I found that out? Watching a Richard Spencer video. He is a Nazi. He's a white supremacist piece of shit. He's a piece of human garbage, right? He had some kind of I got nothing to say. You just got me laughing. Bro, you've been watching some neo-Nazi shit on. That's where that comes from, right? So I'm watching Richard Spencer, and every single little cuck in the chat is saying, "Let's go, let's go." It's like their little Nazi. It's their little Adolf Hitler Nazi call. Yeah, now you know what you're saying. Now you know what that is. It's some kind of a white supremacist. It's some kind of a white supremacist Adolf Hitler shout out. I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. But, it was proven to me by going to a Richard Spencer podcast. They're just kids. Well, then maybe you should stop, parroting little children that want to be, little wannabe Nazis. If you guys want to tell me where that originated, I'd love to hear the story. But I'm just here to tell you, the little Nazi kids love it. They love it. To the gay bar. They never finished their, let's go to the gay bar. They never finished the sentence. Let's go to the gay bar. You're in Hungary, SRC 22D? You're in Hungary? You're like near the war, right? Did you hear like explosions and shit going off? Dude, when I saw that, I was like, really? I was like, that's what the little Nazi kids say now? Let's go. I was like, okay, I won't be saying that. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon. Yo, Jinmin, what's up? I know. What is the problem? What is the problem, the SRC? Tell us. I know what is the problem. We haven't smoked a dab yet. That's the problem. And I'm about to clean this thing off big time. Nazi kids were in your class? Really? That's crazy, bro. Gotta watch them Nazis, bro. I just love burning the char off of this bucket, man. Ooh, it's so OCD. It's so OCD. Okay, we are good. All of the char is dispersed. And then I'll char it up again. They were there, but they're different. I'm having too much fun with this show already. Not evil, but fighter kind. I don't know what that means. Let's change the subject. How about that? We'll talk about something else. Forgiveness.
Okay.
7 o'clock, top of the hour. I think we're just about ready for a dabby dabs. Cheers, guys.
Yes. She says yes. Hey, what do you say?
The dab was a silencer, huh? Maybe I'll pull up YouTube and see what podcasters are talking about. I'm not going to be pulling up CNN anymore. Let me delete CNN from my remove. Won't be going there anymore. Fuck CNN.com. So yeah, did you guys see Joe Biden turn to shake somebody's hand that wasn't there? Did you guys see that? That was really weird, wasn't it? Did anybody see that? Progressive Democrats snub Nina Turner. God, Adam Benson gets like 1,000 views on a video that he puts up on the internet. It's crazy. Must be nice to have a channel that's not hidden. You are wise like Gandalf. Yo, Nugs Money, what's up? Jeez, Joe Bud. Why does everyone love my show? Really? Freaking Oracle? Playback unavailable. Scheduled for 8 p.m. That's funny. Why does everyone love my show? Huh. I'm flattered, bro. Triple point of water. The Stephen Cohen thing was good that we watched this morning. Microplastic discovered in human lungs. This is from our friends over there at over at Independent Left News. He doesn't come in here anymore, and he doesn't like me anymore. I don't know what his thing is. I don't know what his deal with me is now. Independent Left News. But let's check out something that he put up. I guess he got mad at me for Twitter or something. Yeah. Who knows? I can never keep up.
Yeah. Yep. And this is after the, stuff that we've covered that we've been finding it in babies too, right?
Well, we found it in baby poop. That was 6 months ago. So this was not terribly surprising to a point. However, they said less than 2 weeks after they discovered microplastics in human blood, a team of researchers in the UK said Wednesday that tiny particles have also been detected in people's lungs.
I got the phone ringing. I got your TV blasting over there. We can't hear.
Analyzed tissue from 13 people undergoing surgery and found microplastics in 11 of 13 samples, including in tissue from the deepest part of the lungs, a discovery that alarmed the authors of the new study. Yeah, I would say that's pretty alarming.
Indy, go on camera, dude. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? We know what you look like, bro. What's wrong? Put your face on there. That's the first thing. Second thing is, bro, we covered this years ago on my channel. We covered the plastics in the ocean, the island floating out there. I told everybody years ago on my show, don't eat food from the sea, from the ocean anymore. Don't eat ocean harvested fish anymore. You're going to be ingesting plastics into your body. We talked about this. This is not new news, Indy. And let me just say this: I'd probably entertain your upload here a little bit longer, if you weren't such a stranger on my show all of a sudden. Yeah, I don't know why you're not coming by here. So, yeah, come back to the goddamn garden, bro. So, once again, I'll tell you, don't harvest fish from the ocean. We poisoned it with our plastic, and recycling ain't stopping that. It's too late. And it'll be interesting to see the new kinds of diseases and afflictions that you're going to be hearing humans having this new, they're going to call it plastosis of the lungs. Watch. They're probably going to call it that. Yeah, their lungs got plasticized and they couldn't breathe anymore. They basically couldn't process oxygen anymore. Now they're dead. They got plasticized by eating too much seafood from the ocean. But, you know, you've been warned on this show for years. Years. I warned you about that. I can remember sitting in California warning you guys about that crap. So, you know, unfortunately, Indie Left News is reporting it like this is brand new information, but it's not. It's no surprises here at all. Can't even eat a lot of freshwater fish here because of mercury. I don't know about the mercury. I heard the mercury content in fish is nothing. It's nothing compared to, you know, when you eat a fish, that it doesn't affect humans at all. It's at such a low level. So I don't know. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is saying that it's true, though. You might want to listen to what he has to say. It's very important information. Ohio Rivers. I don't even know. I don't know about that. I thought we were talking about the ocean. Oh, you said freshwater. That's right. There was a mercury mine in Clear Lake in California, man, right next to the lake. You guys are just better off not eating fish, period. You know, unless it's farm raised. Get that tilapia and the shrimp, farm raised shrimp. The show is here. I know, man. Where'd freaking Oracle go? He's having a show of his own. Look at him. Look what he's doing at 8 o'clock tonight in an hour. But there is a new bacteria to eat material. Yeah, great. They better eat a lot. It's got a lot of plastic. They better get a head start on that shit. What's up? We got I'm Adidas in Germany. We got SRC22 in you said you were in Hungary. Thank you. Scrolling up. It's from the power plants. And it's a toxic level of mercury in your fish that you guys can't consume those fish, really. It's crazy. Let's see what else is going on YouTube. Dude, I am so not interested in this. People tapping ASMR. Oh my God. I'm not interested in that. Why are you recommending that? People tapping ASMR. It's tapping. ASMR. It's tapping. Tapping. For hours. I'm gonna tap. I'm tapping. I'm gonna tap it. Gonna tap. Tapping. Gonna tap. Tapping. ASMR. Gonna tap. YouTube. Millions of views. Gonna tap. Tapping for millions of views. Gonna tap. Gonna tap. Definitely tapping. Yeah, I'm not interested in this rap video. Not interested. Sky News Australia, not really interested in that either. Don't recommend channel. Dude, is it the guy with the focal fry? The guy who talks like this. this. You guys remember Vocal Fry Guy? It talks about climate. And every time he talks, he goes like this. Let's listen to him. Let's see if he still talks like this, because you definitely have to do that. It's like something that you have to consciously. You have to do it every time you talk. It's really weird.
We have a fine and dandy episode this week. We are joined
Now,
by our
look. What I need to do here, I need to speed this up because it's a playback speed. I got to speed it up, and I have to flip the video over. So let me flip this video over upside down. This is how obnoxious it's gotten. There we go. And now maybe we can watch this.
I don't want to say Oracle. That puts way too much pressure on this. I'm going to say, and consultant just seems corporate. But David Wallace Wells has been studying this issue of climate change for a long, long time. The main thing is published The Uninhabitable Earth, Life After Warming in 2019, which really looked at the scope and speed of climate change. And I guess right now, David, where are you working now?
Local Fry Guy.
I wanted to bring you on to
Local
talk about our
Fry
climate
Guy.
episode. The discussions that we had with David were basically centered around this idea.
It's
As I
Vocal
listened to
Fry
the conversation,
Guy.
I felt like it wasn't an honest one.
Dude, we covered this guy. He was on somebody else's show. Joe Rogan.
Square with the actions that
He was on Joe Rogan.
Your opinion on that as kind of a central core.
So I'm just assuming he's going to do it
We're not
again.
really having an honest conversation. I think on one side there's a sense that, oh, these technologies exist. We could all go solar tomorrow. Everything.
I need to smoke a bong rip of some cannabis.
Oil will be with us until forever.
I think most people looking at this in a concerned but perhaps superficial way think we're moving in the right direction finally. We've been hearing about climate change for a long time. Not much has happened, but over the last couple of years, we're really starting to see a lot more progress on wind and solar. People are buying electric cars. We see politicians making these dramatic pledges at climate conferences. And that's all true. The world is turning. It is starting to take this seriously. But just moving in the right direction here is not enough because we've really just run out of time. If we had
He's not vocal frying yet. He's not doing it. Do you guys hear that? He's not doing it. He's speaking normally. And I've got it sped up, but he's not doing it yet. This is interesting. When's going to be the first vocal fry, I wonder?
started in 1992 with the big Rio conference when the UN declared, we want to avoid dangerous warming. We would have had like 125 to 150 years to decarbonize to avoid dangerous warming.
At what level, like what percentage, when you say decarbonize, like we would have had to wean ourselves off at like a 1%, 2% reduction a year to get to this net zero goal? Okay.
And at that level, really at the margins. And it's a little more complicated because in the developing world, especially 30 years ago, people didn't have electricity. And, it's not just a matter of, the US and the UK sort of reducing their carbon, but at the big picture, like it was a pretty manageable task. It required some technology we didn't have, but like the scale of change was relatively small. And now we're at a point where to get to that same point where we have kept global temperatures below 1.5 degrees, which is what the scientists talk about,
right,
will mean that we have to get all the way to zero in under 30 years from a much higher peak than we were at 30 years ago. And that means just really, really dramatic changes to almost every feature of our lives, which is one reason I think it's not all that likely. And we should also be talking about what we can do to make life past that level of warming relatively more livable. Right. I think a lot of people think about, fossil fuels, cars, et cetera. We got to decarbonize that stuff, but it's not the whole picture. So if we're waiting 30 or 40 years to decarbonize those parts of the economy, and we got to turn to agriculture and infrastructure, jet fuel, all these other things that are even trickier. And, to really give ourselves a meaningful chance of hitting that 1.5 degree target by 2050. And we're just nowhere near as much progress is being made, as happy as I am that like the world is starting to take seriously. We're just moving nowhere near
too little, too late.
That would be necessary to allow us to land below 1.5.
And on the flip side of that, all the politicians who talk about Biden and Obama, even
John Stewart, so why don't you just ask him the question? So since we're not doing it fast enough, where are we going to be by 2050? Exactly. Since we're not doing it fast enough, where do you see us by then? That's what I want to hear.
The two presidents in the United States who really probably took it more seriously than anybody still come home from climate conferences and brag about opening up the petroleum reserves. Or, there's a great clip of President Obama at a conference going like, hey man, I was the guy who increased our oil production. That was me, like bragging about it.
Yeah, he says, say thank you.
It makes you wonder, do they actually believe this? Are they being cynical?
Well, I think the short answer is yes.
All right, we're done here. That's it. We're getting out.
That shouldn't surprise us. That's politics, right? And politics is complicated, and climate politics is complicated. Energy politics is complicated. It's not like if we just had the right people in charge in 1992, we could have snapped our fingers and made the world a very comfortable, happy, rich, prosperous, just, beautiful, perfect place without any disruptions to anybody. Like, there is a reason we're in the bind we're in.
Right.
And that is because for several centuries, fossil fuels have been incredibly cheap, abundant energy, which has powered literally the entire history of economic growth. We didn't have.
It's almost as if he saw my mockery of him doing Joe Rogan, the whole vocal fry thing. It's almost as if he saw that and said, you know, that guy is right. I need to stop talking like this because it's really obnoxious. And I'm doing it intentionally. And I should stop talking like this. He's not doing it anymore. You guys see that? It's almost as if he heard me, you know?
Economic growth before.
I think it was Token Dave that told me that that's called vocal fry. I was like, what is that? What's he doing with this? Token Dave was like, it's vocal fry, bro. I'm like, yeah, vocal fry. That's what it is.
But that can't be an excuse for continuing to operate in this way, given that we are already today at just like 1.1, 1.2 degrees of warming. We're outside the window of temperatures that enclose all of human history. So the entire history of human civilization is the result of climate conditions we've already left behind.
When you think about, you have to separate it into human history. It's sort of like they say, oh, we've got to save the earth. And I always feel like, well, the earth will be fine. I mean, the earth was covered in lava. Like, to the earth, people are just like chiggers. Like, it's not
exactly.
It's just a mild irritation. Like, we're the ones that'll be leaving.
Right.
So when you say that we're beyond
got that right.
of temperatures that we've ever experienced, that's not the earth.
See,
that's just the earth as it's been.
Literally what he just said, Elon Musk can't wrap his little tiny brain around. Elon Musk can't realize that we're not going to make it forever. We're not sustainable. And we're not going to another planet. And we're not going to recolonize. We're not going to colonize anything. Jon Stewart is way smarter than Elon Musk. You see that? Just on that one point alone, he owns Elon Musk. Think of how stupid Elon Musk is.
Biddable to humans.
Yeah, and everything we ever know is the result of those climate conditions. So, you know, we're an adaptable species. We're resilient. We'll be able to figure out. We're living now at 1.2 degrees. We never lived at that level before. We'll be able to figure out higher levels too. But it'll require dealing with much more suffering, much more disarray, you know, much more catastrophe. Especially given like what you and I were sort of raised to expect about the future, that it would be more comfortable, more prosperous, more just, more equal, et cetera. You know, climate change at the very least complicates those promises and may, if things get really out of hand, totally withdraw, which would be a really ugly and unfortunate future.
You're saying no jetpacks. Because I've been promised for a very long time, since the Jetsons, that we would have flying cars and personal jetpacks. You're saying this is going to be delayed now at least 6 months to 20 years.
You haven't gotten your jetpack yet?
I do not have my jetpack yet. The other part of this that's so difficult is, I mean, the United States has put out more of these greenhouse gases, I think, than what the rest of the world combined. Is that the, you know, and as
not quite, but they're by far the biggest share. Yeah,
by far the biggest share. And now you've got all these sort of these countries that were pre-industrial that are now industrializing, and look at the standard of living that free and cheap petroleum has brought to them. How can you expect any of these countries to abide that in any manner?
Yeah, it's a hard bargain to strike. I would say two things. So the first is, underlining your point. Like, the U.S. is the most responsible party here, and over the course of history, carbon emissions are really closely correlated with wealth, which means basically anybody who's rich anywhere in the world, and especially in any country that's rich anywhere in the world, is doing really disproportionate damage to the climate. And important to keep in mind, you know, it's not just like carbon doesn't go into the air and dissipate; it hangs up.
Dude, is my main YouTube channel still up, guys? I got 14 out of 15 channels. Josh G, Doc Hollandaise, are you guys on the main YouTube channel? The Bong Rip channel? Well, the Smoke Ring channel? You're more smart than both of them, SRC22D. They are both stupid. Yeah, main channel's up. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Up there for centuries, which means that what made America an industrial titan in the late 19th, early 20th century, that fossil fuel damage is still heating the planet, and its heating power is equivalent to the damage that's being done by China today. So the fact that China is doing it today doesn't make it worse than the stuff that we did, you know, generations ago, and we're standing on those generations, you know, wealthier as a result. And I think that Americans and Westerners in general really should reckon with that set of facts, that we are wealthy today because because we poisoned the well for future generations already. We may have more progressive climate policies today, to some degree, depending on the country, than some of these countries in the developing world, but it doesn't matter. We are still deeply, deeply guilty. On the positive side, that bargain that you talked about is really different now because renewable energy is so much cheaper than it used to be, even 5 years ago, which means if you're a country in sub-Saharan Africa or South Asia, and you're making a 10 or 20 or 30-year plan for your country's
happy 420, everybody.
It doesn't make economic sense to try to subsidize the fossil fuel business and consume dirty energy the way that we have for the last century and a half. It actually is much cheaper. The energy is more abundant, will lead to more prosperity if they take a much more renewable focused approach. And that is really new. There's some studies showing 80-90% of the world now lives in places where new renewable energy is cheaper than dirty energy. And in some places, it's even easier to build new renewable capacity, to build whole new solar plants, whole new wind farms, than just continuing to run your old fossil fuel energy. So we are in a place now where we don't have to ask poor people in poor countries to forego the wealth that we've had. We can help them make a faster transition, not to just a cleaner future, but actually a more prosperous future, and not have to make that trade-off at all.
Who's going to win that race, David? Because these fossil fuel companies are, because they were the engine of progress, they've certainly, the legacy profits in that business. Because I thought it was really interesting, the thing you said about the greenhouse gases that we've put up already, we're feeling the effects of now, which almost makes it seem like it's like the light from the stars. The light you're seeing now is not light that's happening now. It's light that has traveled. So you're really almost looking into the past, right? But the power players in all this are still the legacy industries of our progress. And I don't want to demonize them, because I do believe this is a byproduct of our success, not the design of it. It wasn't designed to destroy the world. It was designed for progress. The byproduct of it, pollution and those types of things, we haven't mitigated as well as we could have. But I think it's too easy to point the finger and say, you motherfuckers poisoned this place. We have a role in this. People enjoy the success that we've had as a species. And it's going to be really difficult to change that. But in these emerging markets, the leaders in that development are still kind of oil companies and petroleum companies, because they're such energy, Africa and those areas are so energy rich from those extraction models.
Well, they're actually richer on a renewable model.
What the? It
happens to be the case that poorer countries are, relatively speaking, have more abundant solar power than richer countries. Now, there are a complicated set of reasons for that, which have to do with, there's some geographic determinism, there's some colonialism, et cetera. But if you're thinking about should Chad spend money on fossil fuel development and extraction, or should Chad invest in solar? Taking the global perspective, they're actually better off in a solar-dominated energy world than one that's dominated by fossil fuels. There are a lot of complications that those governments face, having to do with committed resources, their lack of capital to invest in somewhat capital-intensive infrastructure projects that this would require. And they also are, to a certain degree, dependent on tax revenue from these existing businesses. Many of them get a large share of their national tax revenue from the fossil fuel business. So for all of these reasons, they are kind of incentivized to stick with the status quo and keep burning fossil fuels, which is not just going to harm the climate future of the planet, but also the health of their citizens, because they're huge, in some ways even more catastrophic than climate effects, huge effects on
health effects.
Yeah. But if you're designing this from a whiteboard and saying all right, let's start from scratch today, 2022, what is sub-Saharan African energy going to look like? And weren't dealing with all of those legacy problems and complexities. I think it's pretty inarguable that every person looking at that set of dilemmas and those set of challenges and dynamics would say the best path here is for an aggressive push into renewable energy. So the question is, what can we do in the global north, and what can those leaders in the global south do to make the whiteboard logic work in the real world, as opposed to just being a fancy, happy thing to talk about in universities and on Zoom calls.
Because that's the thing is we have to look at it from the real world perspective, and you have to think to yourself well, so where is the money coming from for this development? And generally, it's coming from people that are looking to exploit these resources. When you're looking at countries that are historically have been exploited, this is just another model to continue that process. So the people that came in and extracted the mineral wealth and the labor wealth and all kinds of other areas of wealth in sub-Saharan Africa and all these other areas are now in there extracting energy wealth under the guise of, hey man, we're going to help you develop. We're going to help you build some shit. So here's how it's going to go. We're going to mine it. We're going to extract it. We're going to do all those things. And in exchange, we will build you these infrastructure models. So because I do understand what you're saying about, well, if you look at it, it's actually they're wealthier in sunlight or those types of things. But the truth is, I think the people that are going to provide the engine of that development are still looking at a legacy model of exploitation, it seems. And that's the one that is, I don't know how you break that.
I think in part it's trying to build an incentive structure so that.
How many people are watching on the main channel on YouTube, guys? How many viewers do I have on the main channel on YouTube? Can you guys tell me? And how many on the Dabrig channel on Facebook? How many viewers? Says 4. Because I've got 11 viewers total. There's only 4 people watching on YouTube. Yeah, man. I've got 12 viewers total, man. You know, it's like we're talking about, these guys are talking about climate change and basically what we've been talking about on this channel for years. And, 12 people are interested in hearing this. This is psychotic. So I'm going to call it a night. You guys check out the freaking Oracle show at 8 o'clock. He's going live on his show. It's too bad people aren't more supportive of this channel, man, So I try to bring you some bong rips and some content. We'd go for hours, man, if people would hang out. But I can't get people to hang out, so I'll go do other shit, It's crazy. 10 people. What a freaking joke. Yeah. When when people want more of a show, they'll stay and they'll hang out. It sounded like Jon Stewart. That wasn't Jon Stewart, was it? It's funny. It sounded like him. Because I was just watching Jon Stewart. Hi, guys.